You go that way too? You like this side or do you like that side? What do you like better? All right, guys.
We haven't started.
Oh, yeah. We're live. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey, guys. Michael Ray Edwin here with the great, in person, Edwin Brent. We are deep in the heart of Texas, baby.
Yeah,
And guess who's here with me?
All right.
My brother.
No mask.
That's right. No, yeah, Texas.
No mask.
What's funny is Texas opened up last Wednesday. The governor got on and said, we're going to open up the state 100%. If you feel good about it, we're all good about it. That evening, Edwin gets a phone call.
Absolutely.
From one of our best insurance customer here in the state. And he said, how fast can you guys get here? We want y'all to do a live training. And it so happens that we're doing a live in-studio live training that's broadcast all across the nation tomorrow morning for one of our customers that is out in East Texas, actually. But they have locations all across the country. So we're going to be doing a live in Texas, right here in Dallas, Texas. So we said, hey, man, how about next week? So he jumped through the hoops. We jumped through the hoops. We bought him a ticket. Boom, he's here right now. So we're going to go live to you a little bit early here. But we're also, this is going to come and we're going to stream it on all the platforms. Thank you guys for joining us. We probably won't have the interaction because we're going a couple minutes early because tomorrow and Friday, bro,
Full day,
we're
man.
cranking and banking. That's what I'm talking about. So Mindset of the Champion, man. We're back on the road again. We're here together. I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening, bro. So how you feeling?
Anytime I'm back on the road, man, I'm the first one on the bus and ready to go.
That's right. Edwin's got his
That's
bags
little
packed.
Hank Williams, man.
That's right.
That's right.
Always got his bags packed. So tonight, what are we talking about?
Well, you know what, Michael, last week we were talking about attitude, which is so critically important in what we're trying to accomplish, right?
Mm-hmm.
Today, what we want to talk about is what's the fastest way to change? Like, okay, so now the audience is going, okay, I'm with you guys. I want to get better. I want to get more involved. I want to grow myself professionally and personally. But how do I do it? Like, what do I do? What's the fastest way to change, man? And beyond the fact that a lot of failure along the way, right?
Oh, yeah. The fastest way to change is to take action. But, I mean, you're right. How do we do – it's simple to say. And we have so many people that get involved with us and really start looking in and diving into the process, start measuring themselves up against the process, and then start trying to grade themselves and doing a checkup and finding out where they need to do, where they need to step back, where they need to relaunch, and what does it look like. Bottom line is we get people, we coach people all across the country, bro, that say, what's the fastest way to change? I know it's trust process, think, relate, understand, uncover the need, offer the solution, take massive action. I know all that. I know Pogo. I've been with you guys for 6 or 8 months now, although a lot of you haven't. But here's what I want you to talk about tonight. The fastest way. Okay, you want to get results. You want to change. You want to take action. And you want to make a difference. You want to make it count. You want to see, and what you most importantly want to see, what keeps our dopamine little thing pumping in is results.
Absolutely.
That's
those
what,
results.
Seeing results, seeing little growth. And as we fall back, if you're trying to lose weight and you get off, you've been doing good for 2 weeks, and all of a sudden you crash your diet and you're so depressed, I blew it. No, you didn't. You're one day away from starting over, baby. You're one moment away from being reset, relaunching yourself. So, Edwin, today we talk about those things. There's 3 quick, how do I do it? What's the fastest way to take action? Spend a couple minutes talking about that. And as we talk through that, we'll go back and forth and iterate on it a little bit. But you have a really cool little mini process inside the process that really is a quick and fast track to check yourself and get to that change.
Yeah, Michael, thank you so much. Number 1 is encounter, guys. The quickest way to change is encounter. Really, that is what you see, what you're putting in, right? What you put in is what you get out, what you're looking at, what you're listening to. The fact that you're plugging in tonight is an example of that. But it's, you know, Michael, the most significant encounter we have every day is what?
Right here.
Yeah, when we have ourselves.
Yeah.
People often say it's my spouse or it's this. It really is your very first thoughts, man, you know? And hey, if you woke up and you got a thought, that's a good thing. Right?
That means a great deal.
Yeah.
It's above ground, right?
But what you see, so what you're reading, what you're listening to, the people you're surrounding yourself with, evaluate that, man. If you're, you know, in today's society, bigger than ever, you can get on all these news platforms and it's doom and gloom. That's what they think sells ratings. So people plug into all this negativity and all this hostility, and man, that is a lot of wasted energy. So put the pure, the powerful, the positive in your mind. What your encounter is first. And Michael, you do that, man. I love that about you.
Yeah, I mean, it really, the first person you see every morning, no matter how good or bad it looks, bro, is you. So when you get up when you get up in front of that mirror, you have to be intentional about how you see yourself.
Yeah, but you sometimes we need to multitask, right? Which helps with that. So one of the things I hear you talk about a lot, Michael, is when you're exercising, right? You're early in the morning, get up there. You don't always feel like exercising, do you?
No.
Sometimes those nights are short and
Yeah.
little, but you get up and you do it, and you do it for yourself and your health and your future self. But what are you doing while you're exercising? There's something you're listening to, right?
And here's the deal. I mean, we talk about the 7 areas of growth. We talk about being significant and being successful. A lot of times we judge ourselves. We got to be successful. We got to be successful. And that's what we think, our own personal goals. And then significance is a different level. No matter whether I feel like it or not, the first 4 areas that we focus on are spiritually, mentally, and physically. So when I drag my butt out of bed some mornings and I get up there and I start going through the cardio routine, I'm plugging in to something that can mentally, and spiritually can contribute to what I'm doing. I multitask. I put it together. So it's a big hill and a lot of times in the morning. But when I get through it, it sets the stage for the day. I'm able to set the stage for success. You know what? Today's going to be, here's what I wonder in the morning. I say to myself, man, I wonder what great's going to happen today. What great things are going to happen to me today? Yeah. You know what? I may owe everybody in the world. I may have a customer that I have to deal with that I've been fighting with forever, that I have a 9 o'clock appointment for, because I take all my bad stuff, my most difficult conversations, I place in the morning. I get them over with, man. There's nothing worse having to let somebody go or having to write somebody up or having to deal with a bad customer. Today, sometime I have to do it, and you put it off. You ever done that? You put it off. Put that conversation off. Put it off. And the whole day, it's kind of on me, man. It's just kind of on me, and I'm just like, oh, it's heavy. So when I get through that, I've lifted myself from dragging ass, which is what it is, to when I get off, I'm like, oh, man, spiritually, feeling pretty good. Mentally, physically, I know God's got my back. There's nothing He won't give me bigger than I can't handle. I wonder what's great is going to happen today. And then I get that most heavy conversation off. And 99% of the time, if I've used the 24-hour rule, and if I've taken a step back and taken the emotion out of it, those conversations have been well thought out. And I've been able to come to a collaborative approach, both sides, whether somebody that had to let go, guess what they do? They realize that they're not a bad person. They're just something that doesn't fit for us, and that's okay. We both part. So I feel better. So I go from not wanting to get in there and get after it, to getting after it, to spiritually, mentally, and physically feeling pretty good, to going out and having that tough conversation. And guess what? At least it goes like this. It doesn't go bad, but it goes here. And sometimes it goes like this. I get that dopamine, and it builds what? It's momentum. It's like throwing that little snowball off top of that hill and becoming an avalanche of positivity and solution-driven that we're able to have a better day. So that's kind of how it starts in the morning anyway.
Fantastic. And so what you're talking about, what you heard Michael say, is he gave you some illustrations. That's step number 2. When you've got the right encounter and you do that consistently, the next step is your expression, right? And that's your behavior. When you start putting the powerful and the positive in, and you do it, and you heard Michael said, if you pull back all the things you heard Michael say there, here's what you heard. You heard discipline. You heard consistency. You heard vision, right? He's powerful and positive in his vision. Hey, if you got to kiss a frog, get it out of the way early. Right? Yeah. But when you consistently are putting powerful encounters in, so the first step, take a step back and say, okay, what am I looking at? What am I listening to? What am I reading?
Garbage in, garbage out.
Garbage in, garbage out. And what you'll discover is that next step, you'll watch down the road. Focus on the process, and the results will follow. The results are your expression. And that is your behavior. Your behavior will start to change.
So first thing?
Encounter.
Second thing?
Expression.
And then we're on the third thing now.
Man, the third thing is yes. And that is formation, what you become. Encounter, what you read, what you put in. Expression, your behavior. Formation, what you become. And Michael, we talk about this a lot, man. Don't leave a legacy. Live your legacy, because we're only promised 86,400 seconds every day. And God in His infinite wisdom gave us 24 hours a day, man, 7 days a week. We need to pour in each day to do our best each day inside of the process. We talk about that. So you guys are seeing how these things start building on themselves. But what's the end result of that? What have you seen, Michael? What have you experienced? What have you observed in that formation stage? What kind of joy and liberty and freedom has come? Because you've been on this journey for a long time, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and so have you, bro. You've done some things. You talk a lot about it. I mean, you give me way too much credit for the things I've done. I get results that are predictable for me, and it's amazing the bottom line. Life by design. It's a life by design. And what you said a while ago, You don't leave a legacy. You just said it. It gives you a chance to live your legacy. I mean, you don't want your kids to be sitting around at the lake one day like we like to go have fun and play a lot of times. You don't want them sitting around going, man, remember Dad was great. He was great when you're gone. You want to live it right now. You want them to know it right now. You want to explain those things. Think about the conversations you're not having, you're not encountering, you're not formatting for your kids and teaching them this process. If you can take this to your people that work for you, your sales staff, your customers, your internal customers, we talk a lot about that, your external customers. If you're building a team, MLM-wise, you should be sharing that with them. Not just go out and if I would you check out my product or sell my shuffle or take my whatever it is that my supplement, whatever that is. That's not the only thing. When you teach those things, that's product centered. But when you make it about them and you make it and it's your people that pour into you and they know that you care and they know that you're having these conversations. Think about how many times you haven't told your kids some things when you should have. I mean, you need to pour in and live what you said, bro. What this helps, we don't have it on the screen right now, but what he gave us 3 little quickest shortcuts right there is the fastest way to start living your legacy. Man, dude, think about that.
Yeah, let me just piggyback that a second, Michael. And if, we do have a lot of fun. We enjoy what we do. We laugh and play with one another, but we really work hard too. We're serious behind the scenes. You guys don't always see that, but we really are. So here's what I'll give you an example of what that might mean or feel like. If you ask my 3 children, my 3 daughters right now, who range 24, 21, and 18, if you ask, hey, what's an example of your dad living his legacy? They would all say this: his yes means yes, and his no means no. It just means if I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, right? My yes means yes, and my no means no. They know that, and they would say, what is something that he's imparted into you that you get to pick up and use as you go through the stages of life, right? And they would tell you without hesitation, okay, what's the wise thing to do? And that's tough sometimes, man. Not what's the fun thing, not what's the wise thing to do. That's an example of living your legacy. If I left this earth tomorrow or tonight, those things will continue. And so that's just an example. Michael, you've got so many examples of that too, because I know how much you pour into your children and your family. It's so important to what you do.
I don't think that we even need to talk about that. What you just said right there. How many of you think about you, right? Because all these, here's the trick with everything. When Mindset of a Champion comes live to you, whether it be me only, Edwin only, or if you're reading something or watching something or listening to a podcast or coming to one of our sales trainings or leadership trainings or whatever it is, number one thing, make it about you. Take the time to take a step back tonight, pour into you. Shut everything off. Just mark it out for a minute as you're listening to this. Make it about you. And what you just said, man, how many of you tonight know what your kids will say about you when you're gone? That's called leaving a legacy. Living your legacy, Edwin knows what they'll say. He knows the impact he's made. There's no question that his family knows what they know. And that right there is so important. And I think probably to me more important than anything else. You know, I've heard other partners I've had in other businesses, one of the biggest compliments I've heard, a couple of them that my kids have heard, I've heard secondhand, is that one guy says, hey man, just go work for your dad. Shoot, you're set up. All you gotta do is go work for your dad. My son and my daughter both were told that. And my son told his mom a little bit later, he goes, man, if I have to go ask dad for a job, I feel like a failure. So he's going to have to live his legacy. He's going to have to earn it on his own. And one guy, the same son, one time when he was working for me when he was younger, just like Porter, just working as a summer job, he said, man, my dad, just everything comes easy to him. And the guy that was working, my partner that time, he said, well, let me tell you something. Your dad works harder than anybody I know. And here's the deal for you guys. If you really want to learn something, I'm not good at that. I'm terrible at that. Time management, I don't know. I need to be, just show up. If I work 80 and you work 40, I'm eventually going to win.
Right.
And do this when you're young into a business as age-wise, I don't care. But if you're young into an industry, young trying to be a parent, young in a relationship, outwork them, outserve them, outperform them, because that's called working harder and smarter. And as we get the traction and get the momentum, Edwin, to be able to leave the legacy, which you've done, man, I'm proud of it. I've seen what you do, how hard you do it too.
Thank you.
Don't kid yourself. So as you start running, you start learning how to do smarter. And then you can take that wheel, that balance we talk about, spiritually, mentally, and physically, and personally, and financially, and your career, and your family. You're able to blow that up and create a balance, because balance really comes in seasons.
If you tuned in tonight and you think, well, man, what does this have to do? I thought I was tuning in to help grow my business.
Right.
I want to remind you of this. Michael says it so well. You don't build a better business, you build better people, and better people build a better business.
Well said.
Encounter, expression, encounter what you see, expression what you do, what formation, what you become. Those 3 steps, guys, that is how you build a life of significance. It's how you live a life by design too.
That's right. Life by design, significance, and always live your legacy. What are you not saying? Tell them. Let's go. I'm good with it, bro. If you guys are coming in tomorrow, a couple of you are coming to be in the class, come on down. Look forward to seeing you. Go out and have a fantastic evening. Play hard, have fun, make it count.
We love you guys, Shuffle Nation, man.
That's
Keep
right.
going.
Keep it going. Call us if you need us.